Hello, I'm John, the executive producer here at Final Show Films. I got a few notes for you before the show. First, I want to thank you all for watching. We couldn't do what we do or the amount of things that we do without the support of you, the viewer. If you want to support us financially, which we always appreciate, you can go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms, where you can donate as little as $1 a month to help us continue this and all the things that we do. I want to give a special shout out to our $25 supporters, Antitonic, Waterflame, and Samantha Bates. Second, I want to let you all know that we here at Final Show Films are planning a little get-together up at Gen Con this year. That's August 2nd through 5th up at Indianapolis. We're going to be up there just sort of hanging out, enjoying the con, spending time together, and if any of you guys want to come up and say hi, please feel free. We don't bite unless you want us to. And if you enjoy whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to, be sure to check out our website at finalshowfilms.com, where you can find links to all of our other content, both podcast and video. And be sure to follow me at John A. Bates on Twitter for more updates on all of the content we're creating in the future. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy. We're live. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Afterlight Skies, where John annoys Jeremy to the point of threatening to murder him once we are live.
Yeah.
I'm good like that.
Oh, look, a Mandalorian just went up the airlock. How did that happen?
Then he has a space suit.
Oh, that's cute. This is Star Wars.
I mean, this is
Anyway,
can survive in the vacuum of space apparently for 3 minutes before they pull themselves back.
That is force sensitive. I different thing.
I can fall down the
That is
Sarlacc
called
pit
being
and
a
survive.
vamp, and you
Yes.
just have to deal with it.
Who makes fun of that scene is going to end up in the belly of a Sarlacc.
Oh, bye, Jeremy.
No,
Anyway.
Anyway, I successfully diverted the game within the first 30 seconds.
Not hard to do.
Oh, no, this is
Three.
John's fault. I'm
3
blaming
seconds.
him.
Diversion steal.
Okay. So, as we return to the crew of the Nasari, they went after Jared, a member of Star Records, a corporation that did something, presumably involving records that weren't music records, on an assassination job. They managed to lure him in with a fake holocron and blow him up with lots of guns and swords.
And a grenade.
And stun grenades that actually just hit your party.
It's not my fault they were poorly positioned.
Fair. So, why don't we have everyone introduce their characters? Starting with Jack.
Hey, everybody. I'm Jack, and I play Rerun, the astromech R3 unit, who is both a mechanic and a saboteur, and who hasn't been around in quite some time.
And Spencer?
I play Siolo Mabok. He is a Twi'lek ambassador of the rebellion, trying to figure out how the hell he's going to get these people to join the rebellion.
And Kat?
I'm Kat. I am playing Powder, the medical droid with issues.
And
Yeah.
Jared?
I am Jeremy. I am playing Corey Tane, human outlaw tech. And I suppose we should be rolling Destiny, too.
Oh,
You
yeah.
all should be. I was just going to wait until someone noticed.
I have a dark side point. I
I have forgotten how we play this game.
I
so
gave us
you can't
2
blame me.
light side. See, I didn't do it because Jack didn't do it, and then,
So,
Spencer
press
did it.
the
Hey, 2 light
big
side for
button
me, too.
that says roll dust. Yeah.
There we go.
Right.
And we're
And
doing good on the
John,
light.
you have a chance to tie us
I'm
up. I
John,
believe.
and I'm playing Ares Artinos, Mandalorian mercenary soldier. And I'm rolling Destiny to get 2 more light side, because that's what I like.
All right, Cody. Bring it
I'm
round.
playing Praz, the Zabrak Commando, and we have all the
Good
light side.
God.
That is
Beacons of
amazing.
hope in a very
is-
dark universe.
That is currently 8 light side points to 2 dark side.
That means we win, right? Don't we win
I-
the game with that much light
Yes.
side? We
We
just
have
we
won
just
the
end
game.
the
That's
stream
cute.
right now.
We've got
I
a decent chance
think
at
my-
winning the next 5 minutes, I think.
I think my Star Wars shirt just kind of gave us some good vibes. That could be it.
I mean,
Really? Because
good
it's all
news, guys.
Darksiders on your shirt.
I know.
We've restored order to the galaxy, and peace and harmony, and everything is good.
All with the
Yep.
death of one very uppity Pratt.
Flip all of your dark side, light side points, and we'll see how close you get.
Done.
Just don't ever use them, guys. Don't.
The
use
great thing about this system is that light side points are meant to go back and forth. They have many uses, including conveniently having something you may or may not have.
Yep.
Mhm.
I have talent for that.
Conveniently having something happen in the world around you that just happens to be a little convenient. Nerfing your enemies, buffing yourself. You don't have to use them just on skill checks.
Very true.
Just that's how they end up being used all the time.
Yep.
Here's a Swiss Army knife. Cool, I'm only ever using the corkscrew. All right, your choice.
So,
Mine's
Essentially, yeah.
the bottom opener.
if we're starting, I would like to do a thing.
I was no. I was just trying to remind the player who hasn't been here a while how some of the basic mechanics of the game work.
I'll catch
And
back
to
up.
remind us of another mechanic of this game, all of you are feeling a little bit like, oh crap, there are so many fucking things that I am supposed to do. I have to get back to that person. I have to get to murdering that person. It's different for each of you, but there's a little bit of this strain, and you can tell that sensation is bubbling through the entire group. That even as you are finishing killing this person, there's shit you gotta get to, right? Like as yesterday, probably. But this is weighing especially heavy on Ares because you are looking down at this guy, and well, he's not wearing the Mandalorian armor he was exhibiting, but fuck it, there was a thing there that looked like it could have been related to that dickhead. Or whatever is the Mandalorian word for dickhead, I don't care.
It's actually dickhead.
So-
It's one of the few cross-transitional.
Like yes and no, universal.
Yeah.
All of you
Mirosik.
have a strain threshold reduced by 1. Jack, yours technically isn't reduced until you get there, but it's reduced because you're gonna get there.
And mine's reduced by 2.
And Ares is reduced by 2. Yes. Note that, however, is easiest for you.
Already done.
And
Solid.
let the games begin.
Right. So, I walk over to the body of Jared, pick up his skull, what's left of it. Because as I recall, I made the torso go away, but the head was still there. So I picked that up. Look
Yeah,
over.
most of it's still there.
Look over at the android. Is she moving?
No, she is not an android to your estimation. She doesn't look like a droid at all. But she's completely still.
Right. Is she like responding or reacting or anything?
No.
Okay.
Though you know yourself well enough that you don't think you injured her
Yeah.
with your swings or your strikes.
Corey, Powder, got something for you to look at in here.
Yeah. You hear a voice through the air ducts from the from the southern wall. So how'd it go?
Fine. There's a thing over here you probably want to look at.
Aaron, where am I at this kind of point?
I'm going to say you're on the bottom level about... Let's drag you onto the map and... It's a little bit up to you, but I'm gonna say you're hanging out sort of over here.
Okay. Over the intercom, you also hear Siolo say, is it time for me to have my conversation with Jared yet?
Come on up, Ambassador.
On my way. I'll wear my finest clothes. And then I scurry.
Poor
geez.
Ciolo.
Scurry up.
I start walking towards the cockpit, and as Ciolo comes into view and I pass him, I toss the head to him.
Yeah, oh.
Have your conversation, Ambassador. And I
Corey
continue
walks
on to the
past and
cockpit.
walks into the room,
It's
and
like
then you hear
Shakespeare.
angrily shouted out, "This is not a thing. This is a person, you asshole."
Right.
Powder will go into the room and immediately go over to the body and check and see
Okay.
what's happening with it.
Of the sort of assistant lady, make me a medicine roll. Difficulty of 4 for each of you.
Oh, geez. If I use a med pack, I could add a boost die.
Are you?
Can I
I think
use a
it's-
med pack
Can
in
you
there?
use a med pack?
To
Can
diagnose?
you use a med pack to diagnose? I think
I don't
it's
know.
for.
Probably just to heal.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
all
sure
right.
that one's for healing wounds, but
Oh, all right.
That's for when you already know what the boo-boos are.
All right, fine. So, difficulty 4, medicine check,
Do I
That
have
is
medicine?
a
Can I
single
even
success.
try? Well, I mean, I can try.
I love getting a single success on 7 dice.
hey, I didn't upgrade it.
Make sure that I don't have any.
I thank you for that.
I'm
do,
currently
do,
looking for
do.
Praz while they're.
I'm in the room.
Oh,
Yeah, Praz is still in the room.
So I'm holding a skull, going. I'm guessing things went relatively well, but not as we had hoped.
Yeah, no, he might have gotten a call out. But if he did, that'll just make the exit entertaining. And I did try to get us a little bit more credits, but then Ares shot him, and results are self-explanatory.
Aaron, did I see? Was I kind of sent to the basement before Jared even arrived at all?
You guided him in and allowed him space in the room with the holocron.
Okay, and then I kind of just left the room.
Once the
believe-
gunfire officially started, because you were an NPC at the time, you left.
Okay, so the only reason I'm asking is, did I see what started the gunfight? Because that's kind of important. to
Yeah,
me.
Ares.
Okay, so Ares started the gunfight.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Lux slammed a door in their face. Ares shot a gun at him.
Corey.
Corey.
Sorry.
It's okay.
To be clear, Praz poisoned them, Corey shut the door, then after a while, Corey opened the door and Ares started shooting.
Yes.
I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like half of the team poisoned them collectively because that was a plan that was in place that all of you had contributed to it.
I mean-
it's true.
And it was technically Powder's poison, so,
It's
yeah,
true,
we all
but
kind of had our moments.
Praz hit the button.
That really essentially started the conflict. I got an advantage. Just an advantage on my medicine check.
Okay.
Because medicine's not my thing.
You know.
I make my way to Ares while you tell them what they find.
I suppose
Okay.
could I get a mechanics check for the technology on her?
Yeah, but we're
That-
gonna deal
that's
with
fine.
the resolution.
That's fine. Yeah, do that for sure.
So with one success from Powder and one advantage, Powder, you have your little light and you're like opening the eyes, trying to see if there's any dilation, checking for bullet or laser fire, burns, concussions, cortosis weapons, things were active here. You don't see any of what you know would be the telltale traits of someone who had been affected by your poison or ingested your poison.
Okay.
And you can detect a very abnormal but consistent heartbeat. Corey, with an advantage, there is no, but like both of you are able to pick up on this, there's no response. There's no tension in any of the muscles. No, like, seeming awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, Corey, knowing that it was specified to you, this person matches the description of the person with this artificial heart thing.
Right.
You can also make me a mechanics roll.
Okay.
Yeah, Powder will definitely mention the fact that the heart is still beating.
Difficulty of 4. Okay. Now I just get to wait forever for it to show up.
3
unless you guys
successes,
see it
2
quicker.
threats, and a triumph.
There you go.
Roll 20 not working today.
Everything internet-wise is running just a wee bit slow for me at the moment. So yeah, that's not.
You rolled well.
You did.
So with 3 successes and a triumph, the first thing you can clearly note is a good portion. This person is clearly organic, but good portions of their skin are synth skin. You can actually tell, just sort of looking at it from an angle and tapping just right, you can tell that part of their chest cavity is clearly mechanical, some sort of metal underneath the skin.
Okay.
Which is not particularly common. Prosthetics only go so far.
Right.
And that, I'll say with a triumph, the symptoms are almost, if you had to find an organic translation for what a restraining bolt shutting down a droid acts like, this would be just about it.
Okay. All those words just went in one ear and out the other.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, it's not you.
She is an organic-y person.
Yes.
But there's lots of metal bits and lots
Yes.
of synth skin, which is the fake skin stuff. And on top of that, especially in the chest cavity area,
Mhm.
and if you had to find an organic equivalent for what a droid being shut down by a restraining bolt looks like, this would be it.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so Powder will totally mention the fact that the heart is still beating.
She does not look pleased.
What's up with her?
She's what's the best way to put this? She is being sort of biomechanically controlled. The problem is I don't think we're gonna have to get her somewhere and actually like do full diagnostic shit. Maybe Outer, you and I can sort of do that together once we get her off the floor of this.
Move her. Yeah, I'll pick her up
Zone
and move her
in.
to
Okay.
the med bay.
Praz, as you pick her up, she is fucking absurdly heavy. What is your...
4.
You can barely carry her.
She's a
No.
lot heavier than she looks.
Yeah, that's gonna be all of the metal.
Yeah, super dense.
Like,
Yep.
you've picked up humanoid-sized droids before. This is significantly heavier than that, but damn.
Ting, 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 ting.
Yep.
I've closed
walk
things
over
and
to the
trying to
med
remember
bay.
where my...
So, yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll head to the bridge. I'm gonna go see what's going on up front.
And back on the bridge. Sorry.
No, I just said all right.
Back on the bridge. Before Praz probably gets there, Spencer and Ares. There's a few. Well, there's a few dozen you can see, so extrapolating that, there's maybe a few hundred guns trained on your ship right now.
Are they ship-mounted guns, or are they
like
held by people
guns?
So there's a few hundred people and people guns. No ship-mounted guns you can see from this angle.
Did Jared bring like an entourage? Did I escort him in this giant military entourage, or did the fight last so long a military entourage showed up?
Jared clearly brought a fair number of guards with him, some that stayed outside and some that came in with him.
Okay.
And unexpectedly quickly, a military entourage in addition has shown up.
They're just muttering. Looks like he was managed to get through. Hey, does that skull have any wiring in it?
Wire.
What?
I'll like turn it around.
I hold
and,
up my hand. I hold up my cybernetic hand and indicate.
Yeah, I'll take a look to see if it has any cybernetics. I mean, I've got one in my skull, so I guess I would know what that would look like at bare minimum.
Make me a medicine check, difficulty 2.
Okay. Difficulty 2. Medicine. Advantage.
This seems to all be organic.
I don't think he has any at least cybernetics attached to the skull. He might have in his brain, but I don't see that, so.
Looking around,
Can we not just fly away? They're just people. I mean, it's not like their guns are going to do that much damage to the hull of a ship.
oh no, they're not going to hurt the ship or not, but it's not them I'm worried about. It's the anti-air turrets that are likely hidden from view.
Well, we either sit here and kill everyone and then go deal with those, or we leave.
See, now you're starting to think like a Mandalorian.
Jeez, that's terrifying. Okay, so we need to go outside and talk with them first.
Nah, if we step outside the ship, they're going to shoot at us.
What we need to do is weaken the Bernie's this shit.
I'm just going to lock down the ship, just so that
point-
if they try, so nobody can try to get in.
Can we point our guns at them, try to threaten them? I mean, we've got giant cannons on this thing, don't we?
We do. I'm not really concerned about them right now, though. Perhaps that the girl that was with him had some. It was the woman with the heart thing in it.
Yes, I remember.
If there's more droid about her than human, there might be something we can do with the information they get out of her. Clicking the intercom. Got anything yet?
Are you fucking kidding me? It's been like 3 minutes. We're still trying to drag her heavy ass to my workshop.
Well, I would suggest.
Excuse me,
I would suggest you hurry. We've got about 100. We've got a fair few number of antsy people waiting outside for a man whose head is no longer attached to his body.
Do not let them shoot the ship. I still haven't even taken the scoring off the outside yet.
Tell you
Corey,
what, if they start to shoot at us, I'll shoot back and see if I can't stop them. How about that?
One thing at a time.
I don't think they're going to start shooting until they know whether His Royal Highness is on board or not. So.
Well,
What we need to do
obviously
is
he's
stick his
on
head
board.
on top of Rainbow, put a whole cloak over it.
I don't have a Holocaust cloak, unfortunately.
Oh my god.
So, if there's any sort of if there's any sort of stand down signal or anything in the droid parts of that lady, we need them. So, if you could please hurry up.
Here's what I can tell you right now. There is the equivalent of a restraining bolt on this person.
Then take it out.
It might be their heart.
Well, I'm glad I shot him then.
I'm going to need to check first.
Instead of flying straight up, can we not just fly horizontally away from the turrets instead of straight up, which would give them time to shoot?
I point at the other ships around us in the parking lot.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying we skim the ground. I'm saying we go up 20 feet and then take off in a direction away from the turrets, not straight up.
Ambassador, have you ever flown evasive maneuvers against anti-aircraft turrets?
No, but I've been in ships while that was happening.
It's harder than it sounds.
Well, that's why we have a goddamn Mandalorian on the ship.
Okay.
If we were on
don't we have external speakers on this thing? I could have sworn I saw those. That wasn't my focus at the time because you guys destroyed this ship.
You guys,
but
I would
swear there were external speakers, right?
Yeah.
Talk to them, stall them, because this is not going to be a short process to get this poor person and an point where we can get data off of her.
I don't know. I don't know what you want us to say. He already got a message out to them saying there was trouble.
Yeah.
Aaron,
we don't know what he said.
I do. I was in the room with him.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Spencer.
What check would it be? Because I've obviously talked with this individual at length. What check would it be for me to mimic his voice?
Yes.
Being a diplomat, being someone who speaks with tons of people all the time, especially in secret with the rebellion.
Yeah, give me a second. I think there is a
mimicry skill.
There is not a mimicry skill.
I would
setting
love to,
has a mimicry skill?
I would love
D&D.
Yeah, I would love to try to argue negotiations, but
and L5R.
Oh no, it's not negotiation. It would be a
charm. It's presence based.
Skullduggery.
Skullduggery is cunning.
It's
Skullduggery is picking the damn lock, not
Yeah,
talking.
I'm not trying to be cunning. I'm trying to just manipulate my voice.
I'm thinking.
I would say
I'm gonna say it'll be a perception.
Wouldn't it be
to see
deception?
Could it be leadership?
Well, Aaron's making a decision.
I'm going to say that it would be a perception to see how well you remember it and a deception to get it right. Because this is
okay, not gonna do that. Just changed my mind. Not gonna try that.
So Corey says that so you're good at talking to people, right?
Obviously.
Can you stall them?
I mean, I can
Make
stall them.
Shit up. Lie. Say, I don't know. Confuse them. Do whatever it is you people do. Because
you realize my job is not to talk down a military. My job is to talk down the person y'all killed.
Well,
he wasn't being very cooperative, all right?
I mean, my job isn't to
roll me a fucking deception check, Ares.
That's how Ares sees it, whether or not it's true.
Roll me a deception check, Ares.
All right.
Difficulty of 2.
Sure.
Is it versus me? Am I the one trying to?
It's technically against you, but it's also just like general
failure into advantage.
So I was gonna say my presence is 5.
With a failure into advantage, this is not technically an opposed check.
Okay.
With a failure into advantage, Ares is very confident when he says this. However, the assertion doesn't seem. It comes off with that note of, I decided this.
That's
Probably-
a good way to put it.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
you
Yeah.
So I realize that it's not your job to stall and negotiate with military. It's not my normal experience doesn't involve taking restraining bolts out of people. We're all
That's
gonna
fair.
have to flex a little bit today.
Oh, you mean like me getting a man to leave his well-armed estate to come after a box?
We're all on board with
And
that.
as
plan.
this argument is happening, we're going to transition away for a minute.
As our well-oiled machine falls apart.
Dude, my guy has no
That's-
idea what to do in this situation. No earthly
As
clue.
this is happening, we're going to transition away for a minute. Rerun. You and your crew were essentially under advice from. God damn it! This was on a different page.
From Helix?
Under a combination of a direction provided by Helix and that's Powder's thing. I have too many hirelings in this game. And some thoughts provided by Dyla about possibilities. You had arrived on this essentially island resort planet, where a not exactly well-known but well-off corporate trillionaire type had his own private resort that he tended to use for galas and to what's the best word for this? Show off. But many other people use those galas as cover for various communications. You know from Helix that the crew of the Nasari is here to assassinate this man. So about 2 hours after you arrive, well, Dyla and Geb are essentially planning out what they're going to do to see if they can find the people you're looking for with you. You hear a loud commotion and see in honestly pretty horrible condition, even for like an outer rim group ship that seems to have the external layer of paint and metal slicked off of it by something and is surrounded by, well, that is certainly a lot of guards. Many of them are in these weird sort of maid and butler outfits, but definitely heavily armed, dangerous individuals at this point.
Now, is our vessel in orbit still, or are we atmospheric cruising, or just scanning the planet,
You're
or what?
atmospheric.
Okay.
You were planning on landing when you caught wind of this happening.
Okay. So, Ares will probably, if Ares is in the cockpit,
Yep.
you'll get a hail from a human female, dark hair and kind of a dirty makeshift bob cut. And you'll just see a still image of them. It's your standard incoming hail.
Oh my god, what's
Moontracker.
that sound?
Moontracker calling the Nasari. Moontracker calling the Nasari. Come in, Nasari.
Who the fuck are you?
Are we the Nasari?
Yes.
My name is Dyla Nakiris of the Moontracker. We have information from an individual friendly to you. Would you like some covering fire? We're coming in on approach at a fairly low angle and can probably break that blockade around you. Give you a window.
I lean over into the mic and frantically say, "Yes, yes, please save us."
I
jump
love
into the
so-
co-pilot
Please ignore the panicking Twi'lek, but yes, we would appreciate that.
My race has nothing to do with this.
No, but you are both panicking and a Twi'lek.
That's fair.
Kim, we are initiating strafing approach. Prepare. We need to rendezvous with you in near orbit before you leave the system for cargo transfer.
Sounds good to me.
And there's just turbo laser fire. And
Yep.
dirt getting kicked up everywhere.
I slide into the pilot seat, kick it up, and go.
Okay. Piloting check difficulty 3.
I make room for Praz. I'm assuming Praz, you're wanting to co-pilot.
Yeah, no, I already jumped in as soon as would you want this? I'm like, all right, let's go.
Praz is doing a job while everyone else is planning it.
Cool.
Praz knows what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Which
questions.
piloting skills? Space or planetary?
Planetary, because
Okay, just want to make sure.
you were on a planet.
Yep.
Who'd have thunk it?
Yep. One setback because this thing handles like shit.
Well, if you would give
I'm
me
going
a
to
chance.
spend a light side to upgrade this because I don't want to hit another ship.
Let us cross all of the fingers.
Oh man, if I could be in 2 places at once, we could just pop open that side door and give some spray fire on the way out.
Please don't. Wablam! 1 success, 3 advantage.
Yeah, that's gonna cost a few thousand experience in the Jedi tree.
Self-clone.
Yeah.
Sort of.
That's
Um,
not a no, though.
That's a. Are you spec'd as a Jedi?
No.
So yeah,
That's a. Where did you get several thousand experience I didn't give you?
You're saying there's a chance.
Technically, yes. So, Ares, you notice a few tractor beams trying to lock on, but you get out of there just barely quick enough, and sort of take off as much at an upward angle as you can, aiming for Atmo.
taking evasive maneuvers against the anti-aircraft battery that is assuredly about to start firing.
Yeah, and there's a number of different laser fires coming at you, but fortunately they seem distracted by the new ship, that the YT ship that is now firing randomly in their direction as well.
Is it a
Yes.
freighter?
Yep, it's a
the YT
1300.
1300, which is a form of light freighter that many Star Wars fans are probably familiar with, and everyone with a casual understanding of Star Wars is definitely familiar with.
But what they're distracted by is the naked lady painted on the side.
No, that's a different YT, and that's a different guy. That's Dash Rendar.
Oh, totally. Yeah, totally Dash.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
As
this one
most
just has like
different-
these big 3 red streaks down the port side. Painted, not damaged.
Racing straight. Sweet.
Both are now bolting for Atmo.
Yes.
Yeah.
And checking the scanners to see if there's any pursuit or
They
if we
can't
just
shoot
left
for
them
shit,
behind.
so you get away.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
Yay!
Checking scanners to see if they're like taxiing anything to get off the ground or not.
Computer's difficulty 2.
Yep.
Can I make that as well?
Yeah. With your own skills, because I haven't statted out your friends yet.
2
that's okay.
successes and a threat.
1 success.
Neither of you can see anything else that seems to be launching or any fighters coming at you.
can I guesstimate, based on what I've seen of the compound, I'm assuming that if they have, like, defense fighters, they'll probably be launching from a hidden hangar somewhere around the initial compound itself. How long would it take for them to get back there and launch? Just figuring in my head.
If they didn't have them already, like, prepped and ready to go because they knew you were in a ship, 3 minutes if they're fast. If they're not as disciplined as you would like a well-oiled crew to be, probably closer to 10.
So, over the comms, right, we got about 3 minutes if you want to make this trade.
Yes, we should be leaving the system as quick as possible in case of aggressive response. We will be launching you a live pod. Everything you need is contained inside.
All right, tractor beam's ready. Poof. All right.
Yep.
Catch it with the tractor beam and haul it into the cargo bay.
You have a tractor beam.
We
Okay,
do have a tractor beam.
Yep.
cool. So
Tell our captain we said Godspeed.
Your captain.
Who's your captain?
And then they turn and jump to light speed.
so none of you are currently in. You know what? I'm gonna say, Powder, you were probably.
Sorry, we have moved, I'm assuming, to the second floor at this point, because we're going to my workshop.
Yeah, I was gonna say your workshop, and also probably just in case anything breaks while the ship's trying to bolt.
Yep.
The three of
Yeah, move me, because I can't
Praz
remember which
kind
one
of
you're...
ditched her, so she's sort of laying outside the door of your workshop as the two of you are like.
I put her in the med bay, and then I went to the thing.
Medbay is next door to the workshop.
So they're tracking.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're dragging her from the med bay.
It's slapstick. It's great.
But so rerun, pod opens, wheel on out. No one is currently there.
Yeah, no, about a
welcoming
3.5 foot tall astromech with a scarred dome and flashing lights just kind of trundles out of this life pod, looking around.
I'll because I'm in the cockpit. I'll just kind of tap Praz on the shoulder and just be like, I'll go see what they sent us, unless y'all already know.
No idea.
no
I'm about to jump
idea.
to light speed, so go find out.
Yeah.
So I'll
I'm
make
just,
my way to the cargo.
and I'm setting coordinates for away.
Okay.
Where did the cargo wind up? Where did rerun wind up?
Cargo bay.
Which I forget where that is on this one. Was that 15?
Looks like it's right outside the workshop. Is 13 the cargo bay?
Was that 13?
8 and
Yeah,
eight
basically.
is cargo bay, but
Yeah.
8
Okay.
is
Like-
cargo bay. Okay.
like
You guys are like right across.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so Ciolo walks in as we're like, "Urgh! God, you want to give us a hand here?"
And this little astromech just comes out of the cargo bay door and is eyeballing all of you.
And as soon as
Hello.
as soon as he comes out, Powder drops the body, and just
Oh, God.
in binary goes fuck Tate, because Powder is crazy.
Because powder. Yep.
And Powder, you would notice he's had some modifications.
Okay.
Most notable of which is kind of like a horizontal installation of tech with a number of little lights running up and down it, kind of just below where the dome starts, right there at the top of the barrel section.
Okay. So then in binary, Powder will say, "I see you have gotten some upgrades. You are looking good."
And in perfect basic, he responds back, "Where the fuck is Sen?"
And
Corey-
in basic, absolutely, you have gotten upgrades. Sen is with Lux. They are not here.
Same question.
Praz is here.
Corey has
Good.
carefully set the person down and is currently listening to the conversation.
I
Putting
stand
things
next.
together.
I stand next to Corey and do the same thing.
The
Several-
dome sort of swivels around, his little eye stalk thing looking at all of you guys.
Hello.
Hi.
For efficiency's sake, why don't you two describe your characters?
Okay. You want to go first, or?
Sure. Yeah. You see a Twi'lek, who is let me double check. I am about 5'11". I'm orange skin with red and gold tattoos and highlights on my Lakuan skin. I am pretty small for a guy, kind of built like a runner. And I'm in a pretty nice garb. There is a little bit of a frazzled look in my eye, but it is also obvious someone new's in the room. I've put on my face, and I am trying to be very welcoming and happy, even though if you look in the eyes of the soul of a man, I am currently broken and scared shitless.
Are you still holding Jared's skull?
Oh, totally.
So Jared's
Yeah,
head, so the head of a human.
It's a talking
The head
point
of a
at this
human
point. Yeah.
Given you had a different set of information when you went into this, you would recognize as their target.
Yeah. So
Alas,
like
poor Jareth. I knew him.
Yeah. It's very Shakespearean. It's just I'm holding it like it's a prop, but I'm also saying,
Gravedigger
oh,
vibe
hello.
going on there.
Yeah,
Right,
hello,
yes.
hello.
Except for it's not a skull because it's got the skin and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got most of its
It's
stuff
the head.
still there.
It's just everything from the jaw up is fine.
But that's me. But I introduced myself.
Droids don't blink, but you feel like he would have just blinked and then looked at Corey.
Totally
So
fair.
Corey
Totally fair.
is much shorter. Corey is a few inches under 5 feet. Human, sort of a brown, sort of bob haircut. Has some shrapnel scars across her face. Light, sort of like it wasn't like her face blew up at some point. But she's definitely been in the presence of exploding things in her time. Is currently dressed in. Let's see. I'm trying to think because she would be in her sort of jumpsuit as opposed to like her work clothes, which is currently kind of fucked up because of fight that we just had. Smudges all over the place on her skin, everything, and is more fascinated, like she's got this intense look of curiosity, and she's definitely following the conversation.
Okay.
And very curious and very much looking over just out of a matter of automatic habit, like all of the external all of Rerun's external components in terms of okay, I know what that is, like doing a visual
An inventory,
right
yeah.
off.
Okay. So
And
Rerun will turn to
Corey-
Oh, sorry.
Just for context, Corey had just set down this apparently very difficult to carry, by all appearances, demure human woman in very extravagant clothing with long, somewhat purple hair. I believe I have an image of. Yes, I do.
Cool.
There you go.
Okay. And
Seems
Rerun will
tense.
pause and then turn back to Powder again. When did you pick up these new grapefruit? And then a little hand comes out and fiddles with the modulator slightly. People. That word was supposed to be people.
Oh,
I love the audible from Corey.
oh my God! I need to talk to you because so your vocoder. It seems to be. We have a droid on here that has a very.
Corey,
I'm sorry.
Corey,
I'm
let
sorry.
Powder
Hi.
answer.
I'm Corey.
Corey, you're interrupting. Corey, let Powder answer.
You're right.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Corey.
I'm sorry. That was rude of me.
Powder will turn to Corey and say, "Go get Rainbow."
What was that word supposed to be?
Rainbow.
Rainbow.
It's recursive. What was that word supposed to be? Oh. Oh. All right.
Yes.
I would, but
And at this point, that concern is rendered irrelevant, as coming just up the stairs is a still slightly sparking. You've put a lot of it out, but
I'm
like
trying. I'm busy.
clear energy surges. Doesn't seem to quite be able to navigate the hallway without running into a few things. R2 droid with some yellow detailing on the dome, who goes up. Mangoes? Mangoes and kumquats. Mangoes and kumquats.
Oh, fuck taint.
Yeah. Yeah. This is
Powder will literally, like in complete monotone, just laugh. Ha, ha, ha. And then point. Rainbow.
Rainbow butterfly sunshine.
like I
Please,
said.
I'm sure.
Vocoder and memory bank. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. I'm working on. I've got. My list of to-do things is like.
Yes.
Basically.
Grab, and she just walks away and starts trying to pull the into the workshop because she has to do something at this point.
How long have we been with them now? For
About a minute.
no. This group of people, like real time. It's been like a couple of weeks.
And maybe a week. You had the ride here and then being here.
Okay. So Powder will look down at Rerun. This crew has been with us about a week or so.
Is Praz doing the flying? Because that would explain the outside.
This ship has been through some things.
You need my help. Badly.
Yes.
Head pops outdoor.
We may have ridden it through acid pools.
Oh.
And if a droid could look
That
like
was Sen's idea, wasn't it?
yes.
Wait a minute.
Who's the
Can
captain
you help
now?
me fix this shit?
Of course.
You are
We
my
were-
new favorite person in the entire galaxy.
Rerun is very good.
Excellent.
We were trying to save Lux. It worked.
Good.
Lux and Sen are
They bailed.
on their own mission now.
Who is captain now?
Oh,
Island.
question.
And this is the best part. Powder will you'll see their eyes will kind of do the spinny thing. It depends on who you ask.
And on that point, I just unflinchingly go, Prize.
Praz is the boss. That's
Loyalty.
What I'm referring to, the boss.
In
Raz-
the
my help
outfit, for a
badly.
second,
The
there is a
guy-
moment of you two both feel like something significant was said behind your back and you don't know what.
Just look over at Praz as we hit light speed. You
Why
feel
do I
that?
feel like I won?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Powder will say it depends on who you ask, but it is technically Prez's ship.
Bingo.
So there's another guy. He's kind of an angry guy. He likes blowing shit up. Mostly blowing people up.
Is that what happened to you?
Yeah, that's what happened. Me? No. This is a long story.
Did it
no,
involve
that's
swoop bikes?
No. That's what happened to, and I point at the skull. Him.
I see.
My
I must go
handiwork.
find Praz.
Yes. And afterwards,
And
we're gonna talk.
Yes.
Powder will take Rerun to the cockpit to where
Hey.
Praz is.
I'll help Corey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Between the two of you, it's slow going, but you can make
Oh
it.
yeah, I'm not strong at all.
Powder
I
isn't
will
strong either, so
I like to
you
picture
know.
you like holding the head up in one hand,
You're
still
like-
like grabbing the
You're
other.
both
Like,
kind of wishing the fighty characters had cleaned up their own mess, but
Right?
Powder will
Okay.
say to Corey, I will be back, and then take Rerun up to see Praz.
So the two of you head to the cockpit. Praz, you sort of turn around as the door opens and see Rerun with new modifications. Ares, there's Powder and another droid, not the crazy one, but another one.
How goes
Have-
the hunt, Spike
Shit.
Boy?
have we made it into hyperspace yet?
Yes.
So in that case, turn around and Rerun sees in the pilot seat a 6'4", broad-shouldered, heavily armed and armored Mandalorian with black, chrome, and red painted armor, with a collar of fur around the shoulders. The helmet's still on because it hasn't come off yet. Just sort
Does
of
it
turn.
look like
and look
full
down.
Beskar Gam, or does it
Yes,
look like
it is.
just- okay.
It is full Beskar Gam.
Okay. Interesting.
Looks
Yeah.
down. Who's this one?
I am back.
Holy shit, that's Rerun. What the fuck are you doing over here?
I
thought-
came back.
I assume you're the thing we pulled
Good.
up.
Good timing.
My timing usually
He has had
is-
modifications. I enjoy them.
Yeah, I can tell he's talking back. I'm assuming not in binary.
Nope, this is all basic.
Yeah. Oh, holy shit. All right, nice. Yeah. Oh, when you got snagged on my home planet, we kind of split up, and I went after you with Powder, straight to Nar Shaddaa,
You
which is
missed.
where we figured you'd went, and ran into.
Not even
Chinguskas.
close.
Yeah, I know that now, but
We had an
Random.
adventure,
I'm
not
I'm
a good
sure.
one.
But ran into some associates of Chinguskas, brought them onto the ship, took the droids to released the restraining bolts, and got the mechanic a new job.
Excellent.
So
Sounds like a fun dance.
Well,
Adjustment. Trip. That word was supposed to be trip.
Yes.
I take it we have you to thank for the backup back there.
Yes, who are you?
Ares Artinos of the clan Artinos. And I remove the helmet, set it down. Shortcut black hair, military, warrior tail in the back. Like, so shaved on the sides, kept long on the top. Scarred around the face and eyes. The battle scarring of some kind. And,
Well, my crew has a job on Sullust, so I will be here for the near future, at least.
fair enough.
we could definitely use you.
I saw
Yeah.
someone
glad
has
to
been
have you
doing
back.
some shitty ass flying in this ship.
Yeah, that'd be Sen. Yeah.
Well,
Get a deception check on that, Praz?
I didn't fly it into acid.
That wasn't.
No.
No.
Powder.
Powder's the one that did.
was totally me.
Everybody's blaming Seth for what Powder did.
And you know it was powder, too.
And
That's
if
what
you
happens
would
when your
all-
character leaves the group. They get blamed for everything.
Hey,
And
guess
Well, I
what?
powder-
Here's
Praz
the-
never damaged the ship by flying it.
Yeah.
I
And
also
powder-
don't know what he's referencing. That the pock marks from the acid or explosion damage or scraping, because it's all kind of a jumbled mess at this point. It's like take your pick.
Those incidents just kind of
And-
bleed together after a
Yeah.
while.
Right. I know. This thing
As
is a piece of
Praz-
work.
As Praz said, that was Sen. Powder will say, I believe part of it was my fault, actually.
Oh,
No
yeah,
swivel. Powder. Don't fly things.
It was an emergency.
I see. Well,
we got some time before we're out of.
I will do some diagnostics and prioritize repairs.
Also,
Awesome, for sure. Corey, will
Nice to
appreciate
meet
that.
you, Aries.
nice to meet you, too. Thanks for the assist. Mandoa Dradigu.
I'm certain. Turns and wheels his ass back down to the workshop.
Turns and makes sure we're actually not going to dive into a star.
And Powder will also head back to Corey to help.
Aries, as you check, it's going to be a few hours before you get out of hyperspace unless you want to try the very dangerous job of redirecting it mid hyperspace.
No, I'm just checking because it was an
Hover
emergency jump. I'm just checking to see
Yeah.
where we're ending up.
You're ending up about 2 systems away. You really were just instinctively aiming for far enough that there's multiple places I could have gone.
Yeah.
You don't know much about this system. Says there's a few habitable planets, mostly suburban,
All right, well, hit
Or-
the
mid-rim version of suburban, but
hit the comm. Right, we're gonna pop out in a couple of hours in a mid-rim system. We should be away. And then I'm gonna
From
head
go
down
ahead.
to help. And then I'm gonna head down to help with the heavy load. Apparently,
I mean, I assume after that
by
conversation
this point
we've
you've
gotten there
managed it.
4 feet.
It took you a lot longer than it took Praz to get it that far.
Yeah.
I'm just going to check and see what they're doing.
Sorry, Spencer.
Yeah.
well, I was just gonna ask, is anyone badly wounded or suffered a lot of strain from the fight?
I
didn't think any of us actually got hurt.
Okay, cool.
I took a small amount of strain because I got slammed back into a
Yeah.
Okay, I'll hold off on
I
your
took-
liability
I
then.
took an amount of strain because somebody dropped a stun grenade on my head. Other than that, I'm fine.
All my strain was self-inflicted.
Yeah, I think I have one strain that was
We
self-inflicted.
Okay, cool.
good.
So once Powder comes to relieve me from helping, because I'm not going to be able to help at all with the mechanics side of any of this, I'm going to see Ares and go, do you mind? Could we go to the mess hall? I have something I want to talk to you about.
Sure.
Make my way there.
Head over that way.
Want anything to drink?
Reaches over to the cabinet, grabs one of the bottles that he previously assigned as not crap, and pours a drink.
There's not that much alcohol on this ship.
Yep.
As we sit
Oh,
down,
no, this
I
is
place-
the bottle that this is the bottle that Cielo stole for me.
even better. As we sit down, I place the head on the table and go, I thought we were going to try to take him out non-lethally.
I tried. I failed.
I want to believe you, but given his state, I have a hard time really thinking you tried. I understand if things went crazy, but I want to be able to trust the people I'm with uphold their word when it comes to things like this. I figured a Mandalorian of all people would understand that.
Oh, I do. Unfortunately, you see, non-lethal attempts weren't working very well. Primarily because he had about... How many people were in there? 2 guards, 4, 5...
You
raids?
gave it half a round before you charged in.
So non-lethal
Yes, there were a lot of guards. They were also the entire time saying, "Hey, we can talk about this."
Yep.
Like there was, yeah.
So
there will be differing conversations.
So non-lethal attempts
But from
were
Aries'
attempted.
perspective, 7 guards.
7 guards, yeah. He sort of stops, rolls his looks up, thinks about it for a minute.
Like he was knocked unconscious, got back up, kept fighting, and you realized there was nothing you could do to sway the man, and you killed him then.
Oh, I guess I could have probably tried to punch him in the head now I think about it.
What did you do exactly in the fight?
Mostly shot his guards.
So who beheaded him?
Oh, that was me too.
Ah, so a lot more than just shooting the guards.
Yeah.
It was beheaded.
Technically, I was aiming for his body. But yeah.
Well, this was all very informative, Mr. Mandalorian, and I just get up and walk away,
Right.
leaving the head on the table. Because I'm going to assume there's no speak with dead in this game, so...
Not unless
Not
they're
so
a force ghost.
But I have the ritual feat. Come on.
I take the head, look at it. I'll probably mount you on something. And put it in a bag.
Okay. Everyone, as exploring the ship, you probably do a circuit that... Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I thought I interrupted Kat.
Nope. You're
okay.
good.
You do a circuit which probably takes you by this room, the one that Sprouts' token is currently in, is pretty covered in blood and guts.
Yep.
There are some scorch marks, some laser fire,
2 arms,
evidence
2
of an
legs.
ion blast.
Yeah.
But the room itself is basically... There's a lot of corpses in there.
We did a number on it.
Other than that, you find that everything on the ship has been recently very well cataloged and diagnosed. There's estimated timelines, various things. Some of it's a little bit frantic, but it's all very coherent. This pipe was tightened. It needs to be replaced or soldered. These walls were sanded down, and most of the damage was cosmetic. This one actually had a small, almost puncture. Fixed that, put some reinforcing over it, that sort of thing. And
Okay.
there's definitely still damage, but that is also cataloged.
Okay. So yeah, honestly, at that point, once Rerun's done talking with Praz and sort of catching up on everything that's transpired in the month or so that he's been gone, he'll fill him in a little bit. Praz, you'll find out that he did get snatched. He didn't get to. He still hasn't figured out exactly who put the bounty out on him and who had taken it, but although he has his own suspicions, but eventually he was handed off to the crew of the Moon Tracker for transit and eventual collection of the bounty. He made them see reason by exploiting the fact that none of them were super technically talented, and he set up a few recursive energy loops through their weapon systems and their engines from the room that he was in, and basically took the ship hostage and said, "Look, you can either work for me or I can blow you guys up. I can survive in vacuum. You're all biological." So they eventually saw reason and established a fairly decent working relationship over the past few weeks. Given his mechanics aptitude and ability for some moderate slicing capacity that he learned mostly from Lux, he was able to find them a couple better paying jobs for less effort than they usually would have put out, and kind of made himself slightly indispensable to the point that he was not only captain by having the dead man switch on their vessel, but also kind of by, group ascent, which was new to him. But, always with an idea of that he needed to get back to the Nasari and figure out what was going on with everybody, because this was a loose end. And of course, he has his connections with you guys. And yeah, he sort of has a crew that's just operating on their own out of their own ship, and they'll be in touch. But he's planning on camping out here with you guys for at least the foreseeable future.
Good deal. Maybe we can try to help you figure out who put that bounty out on you.
He's pretty sure it was Tunguska.
Yeah, that's why we went to Narshada.
Apparently that Doug has gone to ground. So
yeah, I went to his hangar for his personal ship, and it wasn't there. And
yeah. Praz, as you're talking about things that you guys could do next, helping out Rerun, that sort of instantly calls to mind your own obligations, your commitments to your family, especially at this time. You have sent money back, but you don't really know what happened after you left.
Yeah.
You actually never managed to make direct contact with your immediate family while you were there.
Yeah. Things kind of snowballed. But yeah.
Just that sort of crosses your mind as you have this conversation.
Okay. Yeah. Once we split up, me and Powder went after you, or where we thought you were going to be, and Sen and Lux stayed back to see if we could steal back the guy that we brought to my people. Turns out that they were handing him over to the Empire.
Bad news there.
Kind of because they had to, since we found him. And then they got him back. Don't know where he is, but they got Lux, and they wanted Sen, but she traded for him, and so she was in a prison, and yeah, we had busted her out. It was a planet surrounded with fucking acid.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Why? Security?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
I'm assuming people shouldn't even know about the prison because it was fucking massive too. But yeah. Got her and some other Twi'lek out. But yeah, once we got back, we kind of just split ways. They had things that they wanted to do. But yeah.
And when did you pick up this new Valentine? Ship. That word was supposed to be ship.
Right before we assaulted the prison.
Actually, while you were on your homeworld, directly after Rerun left, actually.
Oh yeah, it was yeah.
Yeah.
We
When
picked
you
this one
planned
up.
to head to Nar Shaddaa, you grabbed a new ship.
Yeah, brain fart.
Interesting. Well, I am going to go find Corey.
Yep. The mechanic.
She wanted to talk about something.
She's been fixing everything. Because this
Well-
was a shit pile, and then we fixed it up a little bit, and then we threw it back into acid and turned it into a shit pile again, and other things happened. But she's been working on it, and it's been nice.
Good. I will see what she knows.
All right.
If you need me, I will be in the Undercroft. Workshop. I will be in
Okay.
the workshop.
Still getting used to that?
Fine tuning.
Okay. Good deal.
Figure that was the first word Rerun had to work out. Okay. So at this point, we're going to segue to Team Medic.
Yay!
Yay!
You guys have this woman. Damn, she was heavy on an examining table.
All right. She looks over at Powder. All right, you know the bio of it. I know the tech of it. Between the two of us, we can figure this shit out, right?
That is the hope.
All right. Well, let's not literally, figuratively dig in.
Okay.
I am going to grab some. I don't know what medicals, what medical or technical or mechanical scanning equipment we have on the ship, because that was during purchasing, and I was
Yeah.
somebody else at that point.
I know that
Good question.
Powder.
What, if anything, did you guys get in that vein?
I was gonna say I know that Powder would know, but Cat does not. So what did y'all buy?
What was the question? Sorry.
Actually, that's a good. I guess the easier way to put it was, because I think most of the stuff that's on the ship is we basically transferred everything from the Nisari over here.
Yeah.
So what diagnostic equipment was on the Nisari, which probably means what did Rerun have on the Nisari in terms of diagnostic equipment? And then whatever Powder had for medical.
As far as medical goes, some very basic bioscan stuff.
More technology.
Ow. I mean, Rerun had most of Rerun's diagnostic stuff is implanted. He's like his toolkits and things, and his scanners are augmentations to his chassis.
Okay.
He had done some base modifications to the hyperdrive with an eye on making it more efficient. But as far as like diagnostic stuff, he was mostly just running off of basic ship computer systems and things like that.
That makes sense. Okay.
Which would leave. This is mostly a question for John and Cody. When things were being purchased, I don't believe anything of sort of long-term medical variety was even considered.
It was considered.
We just didn't buy
but
it.
not done. Yeah.
No, we only had so many hard points to work with.
Yeah.
We
I know we.
everything that we got, the full list of things that we bought for the ship was a reinforced shield generator, high output turbines, electronic countermeasure suites, and we upgraded all of our weapons.
Yeah. I know we like
So if you really stretched Corey, you could probably find a way to use an electronic countermeasures suite, but probably not what you're hoping to accomplish. Right?
No, that actually is valid because I want to scan her for listening devices and bugs.
Okay.
That's one of the first things that I want
Yes.
to do.
Yeah.
Before we wake her up.
Because I know Powder has
yeah.
a comm jammer and a comm scrambler.
Okay.
Yeah. Those won't
And I think-
necessarily. Those will help if we find bugs.
Yeah.
Is there some kind of scanning equipment I can use my utility belt talent for?
Yeah. So basic, little bit of flavor negotiation. You have some basic diagnostic tools just
Yeah,
with ship and with like things you have in your tool belt. Like I don't require you to document having a screwdriver, but you have one.
I do. I actually do have scanner goggles and a hand scanner and a toolkit along with my utility belt. So
Those
I do
would
have
probably
some
be more effective.
So I drop the goggles, start doing, and I'm just leaving all the medical aspect. And she is, as she's scanning over it, she is calling out everything that she's seen. She is doing a even though this person's not dead, but like a coroner's autopsy of the technology in her.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mechanics difficulty 3, and I'm gonna say, given you have multiple scanning tools, a boost die for beyond proper equipment.
Cool.
And medicine check from Powder. Actually, never mind. What is Powder doing?
What Powder is going to try and figure out, because Powder knows that the heart is still beating.
Mm-hmm.
And Powder at this moment doesn't realize that the heart is mechanical.
That's fine. What is Powder doing?
So probably just like making sure there's no because she doesn't seem to have any surface wounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably
checking
just
for like head trauma, stuff like that.
Yeah, like trying to figure out if there's any sort of like internal bleeding or head trauma, that sort of stuff.
Sure. Medicine check difficulty of 3 as well.
All right.
Yeah, I got 2 successes and a threat.
So did I.
Okay. So Powder first. No, well, nothing seems to be responding, and like symptoms are symptoms. Even if there's nothing that should be causing it, she is non-responsive, so that is still a thing. There's no evidence of internal bleeding, a broken bone, damage to the spinal cord or the brain. Though it's a little harder to tell with the brain because her eyes aren't dilating as though she can see you.
Okay.
That's why they do the little light flicky thing.
Yep.
Right.
Corey, so most of the head seems to be organic. Like you look and there's a few implants that seem to stop at the spinal column, very well hidden by synth skin. But you have ways of detecting them that aren't just visual. Very well hidden by synth skin. There seem to be a few implants that attach to the spinal column and possibly the base of the brain stem, but nothing like on the head the way Cielo's operates. Further down, it seems like a good portion of the chest cavity, you can't, without going inside and like pushing things around, you're not exactly sure what's inside, but it does seem like there is a mechanical housing case that takes up a good portion of the torso, and that there is synth skin and other smaller electronics around it, replicating the shape of a humanoid torso. Again, shockingly well, better than you have seen. Though that's more like the crafty artisan part of
Right.
legs, lower torso, all of that seems to be organic. One of her arms is definitely almost entirely mechanical, but the other one seems to be mostly organic bits. You do notice that she has a small, thin metal bracelets. Think Carolina's.
Yeah,
on
I was
each
gonna
arm.
say that was my immediate thought. Okay.
On both of her arms that are definitely some sort of tech. You can't find anything that would be a transmission or listening device. Though you suspect one of the things basically on this part of her arm is an access point of some kind if you pried it up.
Okay. So are the braces, are they actually wired into her?
No, they just seem to be on her arm the way an organic might wear bracelets.
All right. So yeah, I've called all that out. Well, so Powder has that
Okay.
register in combination with the bio side of it.
Powder will mention the fact that the heart is still beating.
It's an artificial heart. We got
that would make sense. And like, if a droid could look relieved, Powder looks relieved.
Powder, I want you to roll me First, I want you to roll me a difficulty 2 medicine check.
Okay. Difficulty 2. 2 successes.
You're not familiar with any successful implementation of an artificial heart. You know, like, that there is some theory around it. You can find medical texts in your database that are like, theoretically, the same way we replace arms, we could replace internal stuff, but in practice, it doesn't tend to work because it's all fleshy bits and rejecting itself and all of that. And then I want you to make me again, just difficulty 2 cool roll.
All right. That is 2 successes, a threat, and a triumph.
Ooh.
So you have full control over how you decide to respond to this. But like, as you are examining that and intaking that information and sort of examining, you can also tell under examination in this lighting that there is synth skin for a lot of the torso area, as well as the artificial arm. You see in front of your vision notifications pop up, just big sort of exclamation marks, and some sort of coded message that you don't recognize, and just as quickly it disappears.
Okay. Oh, fuck. All right. Okay,
so we need to... Corey's looking... I mean, I realize she looks... I realize this is not how organic bodies work, but...
Powder is staring at the wall now.
Powder, hun, you with me? Powder. Pow.
And Powder will turn back. Sorry.
It's okay.
That
you
was
okay?
Odd.
It's fine.
And
doing okay?
Like little head tilt, like a dog, like that. We maybe.
I don't mean to belie what. Is it something that if we need to handle it now, awesome, whatever it is. Do we?
I honestly do not know. There was a code that flashed. Let us do this, and we
Okay.
will.
One problem at a time.
Yes.
Just something to add to the list. It's fine.
Corey, out of the corner of your eye, you see Rainbow walk by.
Ah, so many things to fix. Which actually kind of makes it my dream job. Anyways, so I realize this is not how we organics work, but the tech stuff, normally I would just be like, all right, let's take this all apart and see what's in there. We can't necessarily do that with a person. Stop.
You're not there.
I didn't say anything.
You didn't have to.
I mean, but we kind of can, but we kind of can't. Like, if I don't know, that's your end. But what I'm going to start to do, and I need you to monitor vitals, is start taking what I can that is not physically part of our chassis, essentially, off.
I can do that.
Okay. I'm going to start with these bracelets. Let's go from there. Was I able to figure out which part of her is? You said there she had basically a person restraining bolt. Have I been able to figure out what part of her that is?
So what you were doing is you were cataloging stuff, but you weren't doing too much like opening up of the more vital components. You would probably have to go in from just your understanding of how this system is laid out, looking at it as a droid, probably somewhere in the more vital regions.
That makes sense.
Probably, typically restraining bolts are external, but this is weird, so probably internal.
Yes.
This is a person.
She's thinking more of restraining bolt than kill switch if you don't do exactly what I say.
That is probably accurate.
But
Powder will.
So yeah, so she will start by taking the bracelets off.
Powder, before you take the bracelets off, Powder will ask if we should strap her down just in case she turns back on.
I don't know, Doctor. Should we?
Yes, we should.
Okay.
Does Rerun come by at any point?
Oh yeah. No, right about this time is probably when you hear, "What up, people?"
Oh, hey.
Who is this?
So this is the head? This is one of the heads.
Sure, we can start there.
The head's a long story.
The head's with me.
But the head was somebody that we were supposed to remove as a problem.
Seems rather removed
for the boss, for the Shaper. This woman is there's no real nice way to say it. Was because dead, but that's I don't even necessarily know. It's a head. He's dead, I hope. If he's still alive, we've got bigger problems.
I thought you were talking about the woman.
No. I hope she's not dead. But her underling, possibly property. I'm not sure. It just makes me hate him that much more. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of tech in her. Artificial heart, equivalent of like a restraining bolt / kill switch kind of thing. I don't know what it is. And we are trying to figure this whole thing out. What I'm starting to do is just take some pieces off that I can. Once I get enough external that I can take off without actually cutting pieces off the chassis, there's an access point here I'm going to try and get into and see if I can get information from that.
System diagnostics.
Basically, yeah. I just want to make sure that everything external is off first because I want as many potential security attachments taken off as possible.
Any input, output?
Spencer, we could hear that.
I was so confused for a second.
Like, wait, what is this?
That was
As everyone looks around.
It's a very
I knew
loud,
exactly what it
very
was.
loud vape.
I'm assuming in the access point there are going to be some input output ports. But like I said, just in case I've done a scan for bugs and the like, but just in case there's something, this guy engaged in really high tech stuff. So just in case there's something that I can't pick up with these and this.
Any evidence of security countermeasures?
Not yet. Which is in its own alarming.
Was she his bodyguard? His
Lovely assistant.
Assistant with an ungodly valuable amount of tech in her. This is not somebody that normally, if I were an abhorrent human being,
we will see.
Well put. If I were an abhorrent human being, I would not have such a person and not have some level of security, even if she was directly by my side the whole time.
Yes, that would be something one would not overlook.
And because this was something that Corey was pretty focused on, you know that she was the one assessing the box.
Yes.
Okay.
She was his
Appraiser.
yeah.
Of
So yeah, that's where we're at here. That's one of like 97 things I have on my to-do list.
Is she dead?
I don't know. Her heart's
She
beating,
is-
but her heart is artificial. So it could be beating on its own. I look at Powder.
She is, at least at the moment, unresponsive.
Does her
Therefore-
but not
processing unit
tensed
still
as
function?
something as an organic that died would be.
Yeah.
There's no rigor mortis.
So more like a vegetative state kind of thing.
Conceivably.
Okay.
She's in sleep mode.
Airplane mode.
Yeah.
We're horrible people.
Someone
She's
has
like
placed her in
50%
hyperspace mode.
droid. It's fine.
Close.
No, that makes it worse in Corey's mind.
Reruns too.
Droids are more important. Anyways, so I don't know what's going on up here. I don't have anything to scan for brain activity.
There do
I'm not
not
a
seem
doctor.
to be internal injuries, at least where the organic is concerned.
But it could be anything as significant as her life functions are dependent. I'm assuming they're dependent entirely on what's inside here. And there could be a wire that was knocked loose. Because she was in the middle of a ridiculous fucking firefight.
Was she injured?
I don't know. I wasn't in there. The body isn't hurt. There's some bruising, I believe, because she got knocked over, but I don't know. I was not in there.
The head. Was there any technology on him? Something that may have put her in this state upon his death?
I have not looked at the head.
Why did I not even fucking think of that? That's a good question.
Because you are not me.
I mean, you gotta see who I'm dealing. Anyway,
This is when Praz will walk up.
I'm having an off day. It's the
I
problem
had off
is
days too.
most of what's left. If the tech was anywhere from here down, or the legs or arms in, we're not gonna know.
Did Praz use his gun again?
No, I used his gun, but not on him. I kind of converted it into an ion cannon.
Disruptor.
Yeah.
That is very good.
I had an inspired moment. But no, that was all. That was all. Psycho Boy.
Aries.
Yes.
I am learning.
So yeah, I'm not. We can go check that. We can go check. Hopefully, any weird contingency if I die tech was in his elbow.
I will go look. You two should probably still attend to her.
Thank you.
Yeah. Powder
I'm going to go look at the murder room.
Powder will try and, I guess, strap her down to the table.
Did after the fight, did anyone loot the bodies? Search for loot?
Not at all.
That's where Rerun's headed.
That's what I've been doing while you all have been checking out the bodies. Or checking out the body.
All right. You're in the room with all the blood splatters.
So-
it's somehow fitting.
Basically, after the conversation with Ciolo, I went upstairs to that area. Standing before going into the room, I took off my torso and armor and set it on the couch next to the thing. So now I'm just in like a black tank top, and if anybody ever walks by, they'll see a lot more battle scars up and down what's flesh and the nice robotic arm as well.
Ow, ow!
And then get whatever cleaning material we might have and go in. First, I'm gathering up all the weapons that were left behind and any other miscellaneous items that might have been left behind on whatever's left of his body or anybody else's. Piling them up, like sort of organizing and stacking them outside the door. And then
They
picking
have
up-
light blasters and a stiletto.
all right, 7 light blasters and a stiletto knife, or just a
single
combat
high-heel
knife,
shoe.
or
It's a particular weapon that some.
A high-heeled shoe.
seeing if, because I know he had a personal deflector shield, seeing if that's still in existence or not.
I mean, there's pieces.
All right, gathering up the pieces.
Kind of.
Seeing if there's anything else that was like in pockets or anywhere. Seeing if I can recover that data pad that they had, that I think they had, or I thought was mentioned that they had.
No one of them had a data pad.
Never mind then. But yeah, seeing any other miscellaneous stuff that might have been left behind.
Okay. Make me for sort of searching this stuff. It's gonna be a perception to gather it all up, see what you can find. Difficulty of 3.
Right.
It's kind of a mess in here.
That's why I'm cleaning it. Well, blam. 1 success, 1 threat.
It's 1 success and 1 threat. You find all the weapons. He also seems to have had a light blaster on him. The two standard issue guards had heavy blasters. The 5 butlers had light blasters and stilettos. And
Were those heavy blaster pistols or rifles?
pistols.
Right.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, and there are pieces of a personal reflector shield, pieces of a ship shield of some variety that was like these little sticks they stuck together, but now it's mostly not there.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of got a little crushed in the gunfire, cortosis, and explosions.
yeah.
So was it like a little like force field deployable barrier
Yep.
that you could hide behind pretty much? Okay. All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what they had. But it's in kind of pieces now. You can discern where most of the bits of him went, but they're very splattered. If there was any techie bits, they're kind of mixed in with the armor and shrapnel.
That's fine. So yeah, then I'm cleaning up. I'm gathering the bodies and the remains of the bodies, and I'm going to stack them, like in order in one of the airlocks.
And miraculously unharmed, because when I rolled for this, it rolled well. That little fake holocron
That goes
that
with
Corey
the.
put together
All right.
is still intact. There's a little smidge of blood on it, but you can wipe that off easily enough with your cleaning supplies without damage.
That goes in the armory pile as well. And then I start just sort of clean after I move the bodies into the airlock. I start cleaning up the room, and the whole time he's just sort of repeating in sort of like under his sort of humming almost. Bajor balbiscargum aranov elites mandoab mandalor and vinkuyan mihi.
At some point during this rerun, you do head by because you were headed that way to check.
Probably see me mopping the floor.
Jack, you're muted.
And
This is a mess.
and for the record, his left arm from the shoulder down is entirely cybernetic.
Okay.
Looks over. Yes, it was.
Interesting. I'll be scanning, and he just runs in and just starts running
free.
his scanner over everything, looking for anything that's left behind.
All the parts are out there.
I'll scan those next, then.
There you go.
Perception for finding what's in here, difficulty 3.
Can I get a boost die for using my techno scanning
boost
equipment?
die for appropriate
Cool.
appropriate tools.
All right. It's a difficulty 3, right?
Yep.
And a boost.
And because you guys haven't been using them, I'll flip a dark
I was gonna
side
say
point
I'm gonna
to
use a
remind you
I'm
they
gonna use a light side
exist.
point. All
I
right, so
used one
upgrade my
earlier.
difficulty and upgrade my side as well because I'm using one.
Yep.
And perception. Oop. 2 successes, 2 advantage.
Okay. With 2 successes and 2 advantage, you pick out a few more very damaged. It's mostly like these wires might be able to be repurposed level pieces that were something mechanical or other. One of them seems like it might have been piece of what you will find out later was some sort of shielding device. And one of them seems to be like it could have been attached to something either within this guy's armor or within this guy's robes or maybe some kind of implant, but it's just a few more scraps.
Right. Mostly shrapnel and rubble at this point.
There is also shrapnel in odd but very vaguely familiar shapes, similar to You have seen Sen's holocron.
Yeah.
A few of the pieces of shrapnel are like that same geometric size and pattern, but scorched with explosion marks.
Okay.
Oh, they blew it up.
No, so remember I said that grenade you happened to have was an earlier prototype of your holocron thing.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair.
The holocron is intact. I rolled for that.
Corio's gonna be very
It's
sad.
part
She
of
was
our
proud
inventory
that.
list.
Yep. So he'll collect all the shrapnel and bits that he finds, and then go out to the area that Ares indicated, and pull together pretty much everything technological that's there. And he'll probably just kind of out in this area, just start laying it out, inventorying the parts, and trying to basically do sort of like a post-event CSI sort of, all right, these bits are this, try and identify things. As soon as he notices, parts of a personal deflector shield, parts of a shield barrier, he's going to start scooting those off to one side and see if there's enough salvageable material that he might be able to...
Mechanics, it will be difficulty to keep in mind number of successes. It's very dependent on how much success here.
Right. Okay.
Ares, are you helping out with this or just sticking
I'll
to...
use another light side point.
I'm cleaning the room.
Okay.
Like, if he asks for help, I'll help, but I'm cleaning the room.
3 successes.
All right, with 3 successes, you're able to put aside most of the pieces of the personal deflector shield. What is left of the small shield, small deployable shield, both of those sort of are cataloged separately. There isn't necessarily enough of either to make them just go back together and work, but there's bits of the technology that with enough time and effort could be put together for less than the thing would cost full.
Right.
You're also able to, with 3 successes, determine that you're able to take a few of the wires, a few of the little bits, and find something that does seem like it was some sort of implant. And you're also able to take like 3 or 4 pieces of this geometric thing and get the sense it was some sort of stun grenade.
Okay.
I will call out as Rerun is over there working on things. If you're looking for the body of the Jared, he's in the airlock with the rest.
Thank you. He'll scrape together the remnants of what he thinks is the implant and the shield parts, and then go into the airlock and just kind of periodically lay out all the remains and just do a quick scan for existing any sort of metallic wiring technology or any sort of thing that's inside or attached to the bodies currently.
Each of the bodies, with proper technology, this one's not going to require a roll. Each of the bodies of these butlers, maids, have if it wasn't destroyed, a small sort of wiring that seems to have been like a personal ping device, basically connected to a central system. This light goes off when the central system says you need to be somewhere.
Right.
Potentially blinks a message.
Right. It's my implant pager.
It's not an implant, but it is like sort of.
Okay. Just
some of them are implanted, most of them aren't, but like just sort of as a part of their outfit. That Ares didn't find when like going through the bodies, but you find with like ding metallic.
Right. Yep. Doing my metal detector.
There is nothing that seems to be an implant left in what is left of Jared, though.
Right.
There's, like the others.
There ain't much left.
There's a good portion of his. He was detorsoed, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
If there was anything, you probably have it.
Okay. he'll take those bits that he's got then down to where Corey and Powder are then.
Cool.
So while that was happening, Corey, actually, because this is Corey disassembling things and Powder maintaining the vitals and letting Corey know what can be safely disassembled from an organic perspective, I'm going to say this is a check for both of you.
Okay.
But you are both assisting each other, so you will both get a boost die for assistance.
Okay.
Sweet.
And you're sort of relying on each other's roles a bit here. Corey, mechanics, difficulty of 3, as this is incredibly complex technology you've never worked with
Makes
before.
sense.
Powder, medicine, difficulty of 3, as there's weirdly non-organic components that, while you can monitor all the vitals, you need to interpret.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will go ahead and flip a coin.
Yeah, so am I.
Okay. Hey, there's more dark side points than light side points. I win the game.
I mean, it was 8-2. When you get to 2-8,
Yeah.
let me tell
You realize
the
all I need to do that is give Corey a good reason to go digging in her bag for something.
Oh yeah, and then she will go for real.
Yeah.
Right. Boink. There is a success.
You.
A success, 2 threats, and 2 triumphs, while Powder got 3 successes, a
successes,
triumph,
thanks.
and an advantage.
Hell yeah.
Diggity daffodil.
That is how you spend a light side point.
So she just
Yeah.
like wakes up and becomes our best friend, right? Like that's.
I wish, Spencer.
And she's
I
also a
wish.
Jedi.
I wish.
And she's also a Jedi.
3 triumphs to
3.
suddenly recruit a Jedi from nowhere. I mean, if this was the appropriate kind of roles, maybe.
If you're gonna do it, that's how.
4 triumphs, she'd be Mace Windu.
Hey, you never see him die. You never see the body.
Never see the body.
Because
Anyway.
it's Star Wars, you rarely see bodies. They poof.
Who are you calling up? Oh, wait.
So,
No, but we do see his brains fly out of his head with each stupid decision he makes throughout the prequels.
that is also true. He's like Holdo, but even fucking worse.
Oh, God.
Well then.
And we are
Um,
completely off the rails again.
Yep.
You started
good.
it this time.
Yes, I did.
So, you're both doing a decent job. You're being very careful, so you're having to go a bit slowly, but you have quite a few snaps of inspiration. Powder, or you are just like keeping track of this, blood pressure isn't going up or down, doesn't seem to be. You can get some basic sense of like what might be a pain response, none of that. Corey, you're able to remove the external, first like the external stuff, the bracelets. You are able to like, essentially there is an openable port on the arm, as I mentioned before. You're able to get that open without too much concern. You're also able to sort of find and slide open this panel sort of on the chest area that Solo and Ares did kind of describe to you previously, that there was a that was how she was holding her heart in her hands previously.
Right.
You find that you don't actually have to take as much of her clothing off as you would expect to get at these things.
Okay.
Though the clothes do seem to just be fabric, cotton, something. Cottons and silk, stuff like that. This part seems to have a place for a code input, a place for like a essentially just a standard uplink, one of those circular sockets. nothing else. No other input. No display. Just a place for the code to go. Within the chest compartment, you can see down to where, reasonably protected by a lot of sort of, and held in place, you've never seen anything like this. It's aesthetically, it's almost steampunk. There's a few lights, and it's clearly pulsing, and it's clearly circling blood through the body as an organic heart would, which Powder is able to sort of confirm glancing at it. You've removed essentially everything that's non-essential and have very clear access to all of the areas that are essential internally.
Right. Damn.
Yes.
I mean, damn. I barely even know where to start with this.
I have found an implant.
Oh?
Well, parts of maybe one.
Dude, come here. You've got to see this.
He'll trundle in there.
The thing lowers down so it's at an eye level where Rerun can see it. That is not something you would expect to be artificial in a somewhat organic entity.
Son of a motherfucking bitch taint, dear God in fucking heaven.
Right?
I have missed you.
Like, I don't even know what to say. Like,
Sen used to say something in situations like this. Damn.
I already said that one, but yeah.
Yes.
Then you are on the right track.
Fucking
hell.
Yeah, and apparently he just had, according to Cielo and Ares, he just at this meeting with this sort of gallery show off thing, he just had her open it up and like bloop. Hey, look, guys, bloop. I don't even know where to start at this point.
I would guess it's too much to hope that there's any serial numbers on any of this stuff.
Nothing you can see now.
I'm assuming that this is like maybe not prototype specifically, but prototypical to be sure. I mean, obviously this stuff isn't on the market.
No, it is not.
Like,
this is some bleeding edge bullshit.
Yes, it is. It 100% is. Anyways, what's the implant? That might be, maybe that'll help us.
He'll wheel himself over to another, like, little probably side work table or something and just spill out the remnants. Closest I could find.
So I'll start looking it over. See if I can figure out how it would potentially.
Might not even be connected.
Yeah, but see how it potentially could interact with anything, but Earth specifically.
Corey or Rerun can make me a mechanics check. This one's going to be difficulty 4, but skilled assistant, so you'd get in this case, I'm going to say an upgrade and a boost die from both being trained in this area.
Okay.
Corey, it's your workshop.
With
Okay.
powers assistance.
I'll go ahead and upgrade and boost die.
Is there anything else inside of her that is organic?
Make me a medicine roll.
Boom!
Difficulty of 2 because
I did. That was
Okay.
4.
No, medicine for difficulty 2?
yeah. But we're gonna get to
Jesus, what
Oh
is with
my
us
God.
tonight?
you guys. Okay.
Okay, can I just say that is the best roll I have ever seen? That is 3 successes, 2 threats, and 3 triumph on 5 dice.
Damn it, Taliesin, where the fuck are you? What are you doing?
So
It is his
now,
birthday.
The secret.
Now she wakes up
Yeah,
and
that's
tells
true.
us she's a
It
Jedi.
is
secret-
birthday.
It's
Clearly,
when-
that has an impact.
when Mandalorians mop floors, everyone rolls triumphs. I don't know.
No, it's Talison's birthday, so that,
Don't forget your skill pages on what you can spend triumphs on.
you just...
Yep. Yeah. So Corey, with the 4 successes, figuring out what you might want to use the triumph for, you can determine that it seems like sort of this control panel that's on her arm can also, like, the hand of the arm can be used essentially as a safe storage space.
Okay.
To basically grab the heart out of the chest and hold it in a hand.
Right.
Which can be done even if she's non-responsive, because this is the non-organic arm. You suspect, given what CLO mentioned, that she, like, her arm was holding the thing as you'd suspect it can. There's a few latches you undo. It seems to be designed to be as foolproof as possible. There's some cords that come out. You suspect that the box was used, like, to be a barrier between any audience and the evidence that these things were connected or the details of their connection. For aesthetic purposes. You looking it over, you know how you could do it. Basically, to perform any sort of maintenance or get at, like, any internal systems, you just pluck the heart out and it all sort of expands out a bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's cabled in,
I'm
and
gonna have to look for it later.
Powder just giving you a cursory glance can give you an okay on pulling it out wouldn't disrupt the heartbeat unless you turned it off.
Right.
You're unlikely to do intentionally with that roll. Jeez.
And does that tell us anything about the implant thing? The powder, or not powder, rerun?
Sorry. With
Okay.
that roll, I'll say you suspect that the implant is in some way related. It's got a similar style.
Okay. Cool.
Compatible model of some variety.
All right, I cannot find my folder where my Triumph thing is, so I spend them on something cool.
Okay.
That's the best I can tell you right now.
No, that's fine. If you, with Triumphs, you can always say, could I do this? Or GM, decide for me.
Yeah, go ahead and decide for me. I was trying
Thank you.
I was trying to balance between mostly hearing what you were saying and
Yeah.
mostly looking for the thing. And I think I did about 60% of one and 20% of the other.
That's fine.
So.
Yeah. And I'll say with the Triumph, you're pretty easily able to flick it out and sort of expand all of this out. The heart comes out and you can get a much clearer view of it now. There's cabling that connects this presumably to actual arteries, which brings us to Powder's question, is any of this organic? Pieces of it are somewhere in between. Synth skin and stuff like it use some organic components essentially to bridge to make various immune system stuff like that more likely to accept the material. It seems like the same principle has been implied with some of these internal essentially artificial arteries and other cabling, as well as with the housing that keeps the metal part of it connected to the organic stuff outside of the housing that you can't quite see looking at what Lux has just pulled out with this catatonic person with their heart in their hand.
6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah. But the blood itself is organic, as are... Yeah. Blood itself is organic, as you're certain is the rest of the person. What more are you looking for? You rolled 3 triumphs, and I don't know what to do with them in this context.
Well, can't I use triumphs to give boost die on whatever next roll? Isn't that?
I think it's to completely upgrade. Because advantages grant boost die, and I think triumphs can just completely upgrade someone's thing, I think.
Triumphs can also do anything advantages can do, so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They usually can't, like, just do a better thing. They might do more of it, but...
Yeah.
Because the only thing I know is that I know that I have access to quickly is the spending in combat thing that we have in the...
I'm gonna say, make me a cool... If you don't have something you're going to spend them on, and you're willing to let me take control of it, make me a cool roll again. Difficulty of 4 this time you're looking. This is a very specific situation.
Difficulty 4, cool roll. That is 2 failures. Cool. There you go. I had a bad roll for you.
You can upgrade an incoming check against you, and you can upgrade someone else's check that they're doing.
There we go.
Some of the stuff you can do.
Cool. Those are more combat oriented, but yes.
Yeah.
I think those ones might be on attack rolls, but we'll check that later.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go. Now I finally found. Okay. Anyways, so I mean, ultimately, is there any way that indicates how to revive her or download information from her?
Downloading information or other accesses would likely be the access point on her arm,
right?
And or that sort of code input thing that gives you a few basic characters on sort of little buttons, essentially. In terms of reviving her, with the roll you made, your suspicion is looking at just how some of this is wired, where different things connect. Your suspicion is that it is connected to the implant that Rerun found.
Okay.
And that looking at what that implant's purpose is might make it very clear how to revive her, why she is in the state she's in, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Powder. As you
Yes.
are examining this, Lux just sort of unfurls the heart, and you're looking organic, not
Corn.
organic, organic, not organic, and like you're cataloging. As you're able to do as a droid, you have, as we established, very good memory for now, and there's flashes, some that seem to be memories. A room, it's dark in this room, some sort of diagrams being shown to you, someone being shown to you, but you can't discern any features of this person. You just know you're supposed to be here. And then as you're pulling out of this flashback, you see more of those exclamation marks that you saw before dotting your vision, and other inputs being overridden with coded information. And with 2 failures, you pause for a good 30 seconds, just frozen as you try and internalize essentially your entire sensory inputs screaming at you, hey, 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 and then not telling you what they're screaming. Hey,
Okay.
listen! It's like Nami.
Okay. So Corey and Rerun will both see Powder do that, like, all of a sudden just staring at the wall thing again.
Powder.
I have seen cats do that.
She did this before. Seems to be a running trend.
Her
On.
programming was not always great.
Oh, there's something really. I still. That's on the list.
It is a disturbing situation when I am the most functional droid on board a ship.
We'll get to him. No, because that whole. Anyways, Powder. Wave hand in front of Powder.
Powder, about at this time, your senses are
Do you
coming
think an
back on.
electrical stimulation might help? And he
Let's not
whips out his
shock her.
little
Shock
arm.
him.
Powder will turn to Corey and in, like, again, a slight monotone. Please run a diagnostic on me.
Okay. Let me. She will pop her goggles on and grab some cords, do some plugging in,
Yep.
and start running through a full. How deep do I need to go?
Yes.
That's what he said. Anyways, yes.
Technically, yes.
All right then.
Let's do this.
Okay. For just a standard thorough diagnostic, it will take more time than a cursory one.
Right.
But just difficulty to difficulty to computers, sorry.
Okay. That's fine.
And was Rerun gonna look at the implant or just
Yes. Yes, he
reprioritize?
was. Yep.
Okay, so Rerun mechanics difficulty 3 to identify the implant.
Hey, guess who's using another light side point? Where'd my skills go? There we go. Difficulty 3.
Elsewhere, Mandalorian with the mop goes.
I
3
can-
successes
harder
and
to
an
get it off the
advantage.
furniture.
That's what lemon juice is for.
It's still harder to get it off furniture than the floor and the
Oh no, absolutely. I've had to clean blood off furniture before.
So did I.
I did that.
So has nearly half of the population.
Valid. 3 successes and an advantage on rerun trying to ID the implant thing.
Yeah, so with 3 successes and an advantage, this would be essentially the basic equivalent of a heart monitor. It sends out a message to its sister system when the heart stops.
Okay.
And you and Corey are both pretty confident that the sister system it would be paired with is
the
inside
woman
of
on
this
the lake.
person,
Right.
which would match with the sort of restraining bolt type effect.
Right. Rerun's going to try and see if he can figure out if there's any sort of salvageable chipset in this thing then that we might be able to duplicate or whatever to sort of send, hey, the heartbeat's back.
Skullduggery in this case.
Yeah.
It's also going to be difficulty 3, and I'm flipping a dark side point for that one.
Okay, I'll upgrade my difficulty. And I will see your dark side point and raise you a light side point.
Well,
1 success, 2 advantage.
Yeah, you can't recreate the device, but essentially you have 2 options. One, it would be quickest to reattach it to either someone organic or another, or potentially you could modify it to essentially read the lifelines of a droid, which would then send the positive signal.
Right.
Or you could it would take you a little longer, but you could create some sort of artificial signal that just fools the thing into thinking that it is attached to a person.
Which one do I think is more reliable?
The most reliable way to do it would be to attach it to someone organic, which could be done externally or internally if you really wanted to.
Right. Okay. He's gonna see what he what's around that he could use to get started on that project then.
Lots of basic tools, and a fair amount of medical equipment. It would take you some time, but you have essentially enough pieces of scrap and wire and
random computer.
Down and bought supplies at one point. So
which was basically just
these are generally useful parts.
Right. He went to Radio Shack.
Give me the spaceship starter set of everything I need.
I want 3 of everything.
I mean, I seem to remember Corey was not actually there when Praz bought it, so it's probably something like that. But there's pieces in that sort of set of here's stuff for repairs that you can use.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's what he is going to get started on then.
Okay. And as you're getting started on that, before we get to Powder's Mess and Chick, which I know is next, Fighty and Screamy, which is what I'm calling the not nerd side of the team. Or I guess Silo is a nerd. Damn it! What are the other 3 doing?
He's like, oh no.
Have we dropped out of hyperspace yet, or are we close to it at this point?
It's going to be about maybe 20 more minutes. You could start prepping now if you wanted to.
Yeah, so I will put down the mop for now, clean my hands off, reattach armor, and head up to the cockpit to prepare for sending a message once we get out of lightspeed.
All right.
I'm currently just in my room reading, because I don't have much I can help in terms of the person. I am going to send Powder a message over my internal comm to her internal comm.
Their internal comm, but yes.
Yeah. And just be like, there's not much I can do to help, but if y'all come across something, I do know a lot of just general information in terms of like different planets. Surprisingly, a lot about xenology, which I'm sure you know, but if you just come across something and just need to bounce an idea off another brain, I can at least do that.
When exactly does this message come in?
Probably
While I'm getting diagnostic?
No, it would be but like way before, like probably
okay.
while y'all were like messing with the heart.
So we're winding
Okay.
back a bit to sort of
Okay.
Corey sort of starting to pull stuff out. Oh, hey, there's this panel, here's this panel,
Yeah,
and Powder just
okay.
going, I am really good at vitals right now.
Yeah. And it's just mainly me saying I can't be physical help in this scenario, but if you just need another brain to bounce ideas off of, I do have just a bunch of random knowledge information due to my travels.
That's why I just wanted to make sure of when this was happening, because
Yeah.
Powder then would have responded, thank you, I will let you know if you are needed.
Perfect. And then I go back to reading my book.
All right. And Ross?
I've been watching them the
Okay.
whole time, messing with the
Yeah, I
unconscious
thought you
chick.
were, but
Yeah. Yeah, if they need my help for, like, I have basic medical training and a little basic mechanical things, so I can solder, like, greeting cards. But that's about, that's about it.
Wish you were here.
Boom.
No.
No. You
And then it
open
makes
her
a noise.
chest and it starts to sing at you.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I'm more medically trained than I am mechanically, so.
you're there just also watching the numbers in case Powder somehow the medical droid who's programmed specifically for this task fails that part.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Perhaps it's been that Powder has issues, and every once in a while they go on the fritz just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's happened.
You're also there in case she needs to be moved because the
Yeah.
combination of Corey, Powder, and Rerun can move her incrementally.
Yeah. Yeah, I can still see the drag marks on the floor.
Yep.
Fix one thing at a time, one thing at a time.
Oh,
The
those will
drag
buff
marks
out.
will just need like a little bit of like
Yeah.
clean the floor off. It's fine.
In the
They'll
middle
buff
of
out,
his
it'll be
clean,
fine.
Aries just walks in. Walks out.
Because Mandalorians clean up after themselves.
You take
They're
care of your
polite
ship.
that way.
Yep.
It's part of the code.
Yep.
Code
Yeah.
Okay.
guidelines
Um,
and actual rules.
But yeah, that's
Nice
what I-
reference.
So, unless there's something that just occurred to someone.
Oh, sorry. I was saying I am going to be sending a message when we get out of hyperspace. Just
Yeah. There's still some time before then, but I am going to get to you for that.
got it. Just wanted to make sure that was clear.
So, Powder, Corey is not hiding this, so you are very aware that someone is accessing and diagnosing your systems, meaning that it's a little bit of a fuzzy sensation. Like, things need to be turned off and on, and you can tell that someone is going through and like essentially doing the internal equivalent of checking your heartbeat, stuff like that. None of that is obscured to you.
No, I'm only doing it because Powder asked me to.
Yep. And at the same time, you're sort of watching Rerun go about what he's doing. Corey, you're actually like looking at the screens and trying to. Did you make that roll or?
Sorry, I had to.
Oh
close.
yeah, computers. I see it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
there was
yes,
one
no,
success
yes, I
and
did.
2 advantage.
Yep.
It takes nearly 20 minutes to get through all of the procedures. Everything. So you noticed this when you first encountered powder. Powder is built to look like a essentially newer but standard iteration of the medical droid models. Like typical serial number, all of that. But a few pieces, especially like face, optical sensors, some stuff, especially with the syringe arm, in addition to hidden compartments, which are not that uncommon on droids that live in the Outer Rim and like having hidden compartments for the obvious reasons.
I'm more hidden compartments than regular compartments.
The
Yep.
You've noticed that before, and you're sort of confirming that, which was just like a cursory visual. Oh, holy shit, that's cool. You're confirming that. That seems to also be true of some of the programming. Most of it is very standard with memory gaps that your powder has communicated exist to you before. Like, it looks like it looks like they were wiped, but they weren't completely wiped or something went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's residual memory from before the databanks were wiped. But in the programming itself that would maintain anyways, some of the essentially medical information data that most medical droids, like most droids, keep sort of essential, this is my function type programming, even when personal memories might be forcibly deleted.
Right.
In those areas, you're also seeing that same, this is made to look standard, but pieces of it aren't. And you're actually able to determine that somewhere in powders, like, here is how all of the things work. There is essentially an if-then trigger that you find when testing for if none of these work, if none of the like relevant medical knowledge options are what this is, then send out notifications for secondary protocols that seem to have been wiped.
Someone did a number on powder.
Yep.
Great.
So,
Oh,
That's
boy.
all you can find.
Corey's.
That's all.
That's
all.
rough.
No one has
Corey's-
tried this yet.
Yep.
Actually, Lux tried it and got several spares.
Yes, because
Yeah, Lux tried and failed.
Lux rolled how Lux rolled, and Corey rolls how Corey rolls. So she's staring at it when she gets all the results, and staring at it for a good probably minute and a half. First, she's like, "What the fuck?"
And while this is happening, Rerun, can you make me a difficulty 3 mechanics roll to assemble your thing?
Yes.
Thanks.
So did Powder join? This is kind of Spencer out of game. Did Powder join the originals, like start the game like this?
Nope.
Well, yes and no. When Powder joined the group, when they picked Powder up, which I don't know how much
Episode
Praz
12.
is going to tell anyone. I don't know how much Powder is going to tell anyone. I know that Corey knows the basics. Powder had no memory before that point.
Okay. Okay.
One
as far
success,
as-
one threat to build the implant.
It's
Okay.
serviceable. Again, it would be most reliable if you attached this to someone organic. Just to be like, here's a heartbeat. You can restart the heart now. You can restart.
Corey's just standing there, right?
Corey's standing there going, what the fuck? Yes.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
slapping
she's
this on the
a-
back of Corey's exposed hand or something.
What the fuck did they do? Ow!
Hold that.
What okay, what
Behind
we doing?
you, the woman who was till this point non-responsive. You could move her hand and stuff, but she was not aware at all. Seems to slowly stir as though asleep or something. Her eyes blink open. Brother, are you?
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Dan,
And Corey-
Dan.
You slowly back out of the room.
Okay.
You're just walking away.
Slowly backing
I
away.
mean, if you want the awkward to stop, just pull it off your hand.
She's torn because on one hand she does have an implant. On the other one she does. No. On one
Oh,
Nothing.
slow clap,
Oh.
Jen.
on one hand, person who is potentially weird, slavey sort of situation. On the other hand, oh, this just got awkward. So she is removing herself from the situation because she doesn't know how to relate to that.
New member of your family.
Praz, you're probably the one who's like most detached at the moment from other things.
Yeah.
So looking, she opens her eyes. She seems to be staring directly up at the ceiling. Doesn't seem to struggle against the restraints at all.
That's not encouraging.
This isn't. I believe I am somewhere new.
Real quick, just around the corner, CLO. We might need to talk to somebody. And then
On my way.
and then
I put down my book and I make my way. Of course, it looks like it's just right down the hall, so
Mhm.
and
make my way down.
after that I'll just walk up and I'll say, "What's the last thing you remember?"
I was
Rerun gives you
examining a
the
possibly.
astromech thumbs up. a la BB-8.
I was examining a suspected Jedi artifact, and a conflict occurred.
Oh, she's awake. Good evening. How are you feeling?
And
Oh,
Praz just backs up.
A lot of people backing slowly out of
I've
this
done
room.
my job and got them
She
to
does
talk.
seem to, like, when someone directly addresses her from not right next to her, she seems to, just as much as the restraints give her freedom to move, look around to try and find the new voice.
Yeah, I'll walk into view and
She can
Her-
probably lift her head, but the rest of her
Yeah.
body is like strapped
Her-
down.
how are you feeling? Hurting anywhere? Sore?
No, I still feel dizzy.
That's all right. Just
My
stay
brother
here.
upset again.
Sort of. But
Now, important question. Powder, Rerun, and Praz are still in the room. Do any of you respond to that?
Nope.
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 Powder
I
is
keep a
still-
straight face.
Powder is basically kind of staring at the wall again.
there's a lot
Corey
we're
has-
going to.
For the
Go
record,
ahead.
Corey has backed just out of the room. Like, she's out of her workspace, like off to the side of the door, like here, because she doesn't know how close she needs to be for this to work.
What's the range on this thing?
Great. You probably still have your data pad with Powder's diagnostics.
Yes. Oh, look, something for me to focus on.
Listen, dear, a lot has happened. So just lay here, catch your breath. Oh, can you tell me your name?
I wasn't supposed. I know I'm not supposed to say that. He's really quite cross with me, isn't he?
Let's not worry about him. I want to make sure that you're all right. How are you feeling? I care for. You're the one in front of me. That's what I care about right now.
The diagnostics on my end are. She sort of looks down towards the heart and the hand. Everything seems to be as functional as it should be. It just.
So you're able to run
It feels
diagnostics
like
on
I was
yourself?
deactivated again.
Possibly. What do you mean by again?
I'm sorry, are you new here?
Very.
Spear is also new.
Do you remember me? I had a meeting with your brother just the other day.
She'll look at you. Oh, were you the one with the Jedi artifact?
Yes, I was.
Oh. That might explain some things. Jared has a fair bit of. He has his expectations of me. And when they aren't needed or I am unacceptably impolite, I'm not here anymore.
So your own brother turns you off.
Guilt is going down, down, down. Anger rising.
It's okay. I already killed him,
Well-
Corey.
I call him my brother, but it's hard to say how much of me is still her and how much of me is not. And she will hold out the artificial heart in her hand.
I'll then point to the heart. Did he do this to you? Or did you choose to have this done?
He is the one who approved the procedure. I was not exactly in the position to make a decision at the time.
That's fine, dear. That's all I needed to know. Well, listen, you need to rest. Some events have transpired. However, you need to catch up on your sleep. You may not feel like you are hurt, but there's a chance that you may be, and we want to make sure that you're taken care of. Once you have become fully rested, I will be more than happy to fill you in on everything. But it's very important for you to know we need to focus on you. You need to focus on you. We can talk about everything else once that has been accomplished. Do you understand?
So make me either.
I'm hoping to be charming.
I'm going to say charm is appropriate in this case because there's not enough outright lies yet.
Dancing around it, dancing around it.
There's a chance you
Bob and
maybe
weave.
is alive, but you're not necessarily aware of that.
All right. Difficulty?
Difficulty of 2, but it's an opposed roll, so
Okay.
she gets a cool check. It's almost like she has an excess of that being calm in this situation.
All right. 2 charm, 3 success, 5 advantage.
Damn.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
4 success, 1 advantage. Okay. She sort of looks at you, and you get the sense she might not believe everything you have to say, but she gives a nod. Does that mean you're going to sleep?
Well, that's another question. Are you able to just sleep, or is turning you off the only way for you to sleep? In my mind, those are 2 different things, but I need to clarify with you first.
Muffled around
I
the corner.
don't-
Those are 2 different things.
I have a power cycle. I can, if you need me. Do you need me to turn off inputs? Was this an accident?
Let's do this. I'm going to give you agency. You do whatever you think you need to do to rest and recuperate. If that means turning off inputs, be my guest, dear, and do so. But I want you to make that decision.
I'll figure out what's best. If it requires a input cycle, well, as always, you're new at this, so I'll just tell you, by just entering the code, I'll be sure to wake right back up for you, I guess, would be.
Of course. Whatever is best for you. We'll leave you alone. Now, we'll give you some time to rest, and I'll be back in a little bit, maybe after a few hours, to see how you're feeling.
Of course.
All right, and I just kind of like shoo everyone else out of the room and shut the door.
Powder is still attached to the wall.
Oh, so are you like plugged in? Like how?
Yeah.
That's
Full
how
diagnostic,
all
yep.
data works in Star Wars.
Okay,
Yep,
okay.
There's no Wi-Fi.
Wire.
Am I able
Except
to
comlinks.
Am I able to send Powder like a message, just like, hey, when you're done, just leave the room? Like, is that like something very simple to pop up when she's done running, or they're done running? Is that a thing I can do?
Powder does seem to be aware at this time. You could talk to them if you would
Oh,
like.
okay. I didn't know if diagnostics meant you're shut off like a computer or
Just kind of like Powder is aware of the diagnostics happening.
Okay.
Yeah, Powder is
Also
just kind
aware
of
the world around them.
Powder is just kind of staring in a direction that people aren't.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I'll just turn to Powder and just be like, Powder, when you're done, I guess just exit the room to give the lady some time to herself, if that's all right.
Powder will turn around and just say, "Is Corey finished?"
I believe so. I think we checked her, and she's all okay for right now.
Is Corey finished with me?
I do not know. I will go ask him.
Her.
Her. And so many characters.
I know.
I will go ask her and find out.
He.
Yeah.
It's not that.
I'll go ask her and
They,
find
she,
out.
and laughing, yeah.
And I'll just kind of poke my head out, I guess.
She's standing there like, currently like trying
Like
to
biting the
keep
fingers?
going on this ridiculous, like,
Is there anything else you need to do with Powder, or?
That's a complex question.
Well, I need a simple answer right now.
At this particular instant,
Corey has a cascading spreadsheet of priorities that is live updating every split second.
Yep.
at this particular instant, neither Powder nor the ship nor whatever her name is are going to explode if nothing is done.
Good, because we need to discuss some things with the rest of the crew.
Yup.
So I'll turn back around to Powder and be like, Powder, just keep running whatever diagnostic thing.
The diagnostics
running.
are done. They're done.
Okay, so can she leave the room?
Yes, absolutely.
Can they leave the room? Perfect.
Yes, they
Powder,
can.
please, if you don't mind, head out with us. We need to get the rest of the crew together to talk about things.
Powder will disconnect himself, make sure that the straps are secure on the woman on the table.
Yep.
She's still conscious, right? At the moment?
Yeah, she still seems to be perfectly aware of you. She clearly follows you with her eyes and her head, but doesn't seem to be like convulsing or anything else where the restraints would be.
Okay. Powder will, like I said, make sure the restraints are tight, and just kind of look at her and say, "For your protection, just in case."
Of course.
And then as soon as they're positive that everything is locked down and there's nothing like sensitive material laying about, just in case, because Powder is now a bit paranoid.
Fair.
Then they will walk out of the room.
All right, I'll shut the door once Powder exits. Okay, we need to get everyone together. We need to discuss what we plan on doing with this new companion upon our ship. But more importantly, we need to get our story straight.
And
Wait,
Spencer,
what?
as you close the door, you notice that Rerun's still in there.
Oh no, I wanted to make sure everyone left the room, so I wouldn't have closed the door if Rerun was still in there.
And on that note, that is where, with questions, things to discuss, and obligation running high,
And a droid going rogue.
that's where we're going to end for the night.
Okay.
John, you're muted.
You know what I say. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes, but it would look
Goodbye.
weird.